Hey folks, I'm best-selling author of The Power Zero, David McKnight. In today's video, you'll see part 3 of my interview with financial advisor Caleb Gilliams, in which we reveal the 2 financial products that Ramit Sethi says are total scams and that you should avoid at all costs.
All right, we're going to move on to Ramit Sethi. And the reason I'm moving to him is we'll talk about Susie Orman and Clark Howard and Ken Fisher, but like to my generation, Susie Orman doesn't have a lot of influence. Don't even know who Clark Howard is. So it's just like I know that they're gurus, but Ramit Sethi has done a phenomenal job. Has a Netflix show, has book I Will Teach You to Be Rich, and has done a really, I would say from my age group, when we look up to a financial guru, Ramit has done a phenomenal job from a standpoint of branding. And my thought, he hates life insurance, hates it. And then he hates, essentially advisors charging a fee for assets under management. And he hates the Bank of America. And let's see what other things that he hates. He's extremely liberal. And so those are the key points that I have. But overall, I like a lot of what he has to say. So same thing with Ramit. What do you like about him? And then where are your critiques and where do you think he's leading people astray?
Yeah, I mean, the heart of what he does is he gets people out of debt. I mean, he gets people on the path to wealth. And so the heart of what he does, I don't have any problem with it. It's just sort of my little critiquing, nibbling around the edges. So he's good at what he does. He obviously has a best-selling book. He's got a Netflix documentary. Those are all great. I didn't see anything in the Netflix documentary that I found too objectionable. Most of his book was actually good, until he got to the part about annuities and life insurance. And part of the issue that I have was he dedicates about that, maybe 3 paragraphs in his book to life insurance and annuities. And he tells this story where he had a friend who called up and said, yeah, I've got this financial advisor who sold me a whole life policy and an annuity. And without really digging into the details as to why, he basically just called them both a scam. And I think that when you call something a scam without explaining why it's a scam and really understanding the pros and cons of the issue, it feels to me a little bit like a cop-out. It feels like I'm just paying lip service to what the rest of the gurus have said about these products. I don't want to do the heavy lifting to really become acquainted with these products. Therefore, I'm just going to dismiss it with a wave of a hand and call it a scam. Very easy to do. And because it sort of resonates with what a lot of the other gurus have said, people don't really question it. The problem is it flies in the face of what these Nobel laureates. There's a movie out by the same director who did the documentary that I did, The Power Zero, The Tax Train is Coming, called The Boomer Dilemma. And this guy's basically interviewing Nobel laureates from Ivy League schools who talk about how, for example, annuities will help you wring the most efficiency out of your retirement savings. They'll help maximize the income that you can draw from your retirement savings. I mean, we've got the likes of Ernst & Young, who recently produced a study talking about how a combination of life insurance as a volatility buffer in retirement and guaranteeing lifetime income annuities actually give you superior levels of income in retirement to the stock market approach alone, which is what Ramit Sethi is actually recommending. And so I just want a little bit more nuance, a little bit more heavy lifting, a little bit more, a little bit more legwork from these gurus who profess to know all of these different topics inside and out. And so I guess I'm getting fatigue from gurus opining on subjects about which they know actually very little.
Yeah. Well, and a common theme, and I'm sure we're going to pick up on a common theme with all these gurus, is there's really 2 sides of a mountain. There's the incline or accumulation, and then there's the decline. And it seems like all the incentive and focus is on this incline, and what's easy and what's sexy is talking about net worth and gross returns. And that's the thing. And that's where you can be like, yeah, you shouldn't be paying fees and all these things. And I don't necessarily disagree with some of the math, but the idea is okay, do you have the right strategies coming down? And you're totally right. You could read Ramit's book, but if you give that to someone nearing retirement, where in his book does he talk about distribution planning? Where in his book does he talk about this is the 4% rule and all? I again, maybe I missed it, but I just don't I don't know. He's maybe talking about life insurance and annuities solely when it comes to rate of return and accumulation. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, but I would love some of these gurus to literally talk about distribution and to say, like, this is how you come down the mountain and actually use math and data. And it would be nice if they had one of the like actual gurus, our boy Dr. Wade Fowle or someone else, to at least acknowledge that. Any thoughts on that? Like, that's kind of my theory and empathy of like, yeah, it's easy to talk about people going up, and it's like obviously get the highest rate of return, like check. But then it's like that's a very shallow advice when you zoom out and you look at coming down the mountain and you look at leaving a legacy. I think some of those things don't get appreciated or don't get focused when gurus open their mouths.
Yeah, I think that the likes of Ramit Sethi and Susie Orman, Dave Ramsey, these guys are all popular because there's like I said, a huge swath of America who's financially undereducated that are looking for guidance, frankly. And Ramit Sethi has packaged that guidance in a way that appeals to, like I said, a broad swath of America. The problem with this approach is, and this whole, you don't need a financial advisor because the financial advisor is going to charge you X expense ratio on your portfolio, is that when you have a good financial advisor, they actually earn their keep. They actually earn that fee that they're charging you. Why? Because all of the studies show that when you don't have a financial advisor, when you're just following, for example, a book, that you're making decisions based primarily on emotion over the arc of your accumulation period, and that emotion-driven investing approach can actually cost you up to three full percentage points of return over the course of your accumulation phase. And so where you and I, Caleb, earn our keep is we're very good at, number one, fitting the puzzle pieces together, and number two, holding their hand along the way so that they're making good decisions that align with what their ultimate investment objectives are. And so my fear is that by following a book or following a Netflix commentary or even following a podcast, you're not going to get that hand holding. And hand holding seems like a bad thing, but if you're paying a financial advisor a fee, you should expect some hand holding along the way. And that's not what these gurus are going to give you. They're not going to give you hand holding. They're going to give you one size fits all, paint by the numbers sort of advice. And believe it or not, I mean, that can really take a toll on your returns over time. Okay, folks, that was part 3 of my interview with financial advisor Caleb Gilliams. In the next 10 years, I'm looking to put 1 million Americans on the road to the 0% tax bracket. If you would like some help implementing a balanced, comprehensive approach to tax-free retirement that shields you from the impact of higher taxes down the road, head on over to davidmcknight.com and click on the Connect with an Advisor button. I'm happy to refer you to an advisor in the Power Zero network that has been trained, vetted, and qualified personally by me. If you're a financial professional and want to learn how to become a certified Power Zero advisor, head over to powerzero.com and opt into my free video series. And if you have any comments or questions, feel free to drop them into the comment section below. I'll respond to every single one of them personally. And don't forget to click like, subscribe, and the bell so you never miss a video. This is David McKnight. I look forward to seeing you on the next video.